felt the need to do a live kind of announcement of some changes that might be happening. But before I did that, I wanted to start off by saying thank you to every viewer that's ever come across this channel back when it was just reviews, back when it was models, scale models before that, and especially since diving into the world of Nihonto sales with Ashigaru Armory. Um, the amount of appreciation I have for everybody who's supported the project and promoted it in some way, shape, or form by letting people know that it is something that exists. I can't express my appreciation enough for that. Um, the business model was something that I was really proud of, the work that went into it to try and eliminate all the middle people steps, the addition for someone to step in and kind of add something on and increase the cost by the time it gets available to the majority of the people here in the United States. And I was able to do that for some time, but there's been some changes that have happened recently in Japan that unfortunately is, at a minimum, it's probably going to affect what I'm able to offer these swords for. Um, it also has the potential of ending the project completely. Recently, UPS, EMS, DHL, FedEx, I believe, all your main courier services, which have increasingly different costs for shipping, they are no longer, at this point in time, allowing Nihonto or similar type items to be exported from Japan uh, with the destination of the United States. I couldn't tell you exactly why that's the case. I'm not a native there, so most of my information's secondhand. I have my thoughts and my beliefs on that, and it could be related to, I'm sure it's related to at some point, tariff-related issues because it really started around July of this year. But there's no way of changing it, and there's no way of knowing when it could go back. So my business partner and I, we basically have one last source for shipping to try out and seek out. We've already got an idea that it's probably going to be double the freight cost of what we would normally have. I of course can't incur that cost alone. So, that would roll on to the final price to the consumer. And then tariffs also potentially would be an issue because tariffs would be due by myself as well. And then those costs would have to be rolled on. So we no longer really have the luxury or the privilege of being able to get this sent to us at the lowest possible cost and provide it to you at the lowest possible cost. At that point in time, you might as well look for sources that are already domestic, that are already here, because at least you'll get the product. So if we find out that we're not going to be able to ship, or that in order to use that method of shipping, the price point's just not going to make sense for what it was that I was offering and what it was I selected to carry, I'm still not going to be able to work with heavily papered swords. I still don't want to get out of that $3,500 price range. So if the shipping is going to take us outside of that, we may need to cease offering swords for the time being until something changes. That's really disappointing to me because I feel like this business and this brand really just started to take off and was starting to get some exposure. We were starting to get some natural spread through YouTube and things like that. And I was really looking forward to the future of what we could build and the types of things that we could offer and basically how many things I could have on tap for you guys at once. But it's going in the reverse direction and going that way pretty quickly. That being said, I'm not one to give up. I'm not one to call it quits. If I need to pivot and course correct, that's what we'll do. So if something happens and we're no longer able to offer swords, we will begin offering fittings and furniture. We already have the business pipeline in place to be able to do that. It's like if you're a distributor, you distribute widgets. Doesn't matter what the widget is. That's what you do, right? So if I have a pipeline to be able to get product, I'll just get different product. So potentially you would see things offered like Tsuba, Fujikashira, Habaki, um, Sageo, Manuki, and then even just accessories like authentic Japanese cleaning kits, maintenance parts, um, maybe even things like Ito, Samigawa. I don't quite know yet, but I'm not ready to let Ashigaru Amri just kind of fizzle out and no longer be a thing in this community anymore. It will just be a different thing within this community. We might specialize in, we'll call it upfitting reproductions, right? Take your Longshuan reproduction and upfit it with an antique Suba, upfit it with a different Fujikashira, right? Upfit it with some authentic silk Sageo, whatever. We'll figure it out. But I wanted to make everybody aware of that because it is unfortunate and somewhat beyond my control. We do have probably about, okay. We do have about, sorry, there's random comments for a public display here. We do have a few swords on hand that are already received. Some of them are getting a little bit of TLC on to make them into a condition that I feel a little bit more comfortable with in selling. But unless something changes and by some miracle, the last and final shipping service out there is going to be reasonable for us and is not going to affect the price too much, that will probably be the last inventory that I have that I can guarantee is authentic Nihonto from the source. I don't anticipate buying inventory from the States, from other dealers, just because, you know, it's a kind of a crapshoot unless I'm buying really expensive stuff, if it's authentic or not. And again, there's just going to be that markup that's not going to make it reasonable. You guys would have better options going somewhere else, and that's just me being honest. So what I would say is if you see a new sword get posted, know that that's probably one of the last few. So if it's something that interests you, I would jump on it. We do have payment arrangement options and layaway of a sort, deposits. There are ways that we can work with you if you see something that you like and you're really interested in it. If this changes and we get good news, I of course will let everybody know that, but anything that gets posted from here on out, it's going to be the last of the last at this point. If that ends up being the case, and we'll slowly transition over to fittings, and you know, the website layout and kind of orientation is probably going to change a little bit. We may even offer kabuto or things like that. I don't really know, so we'll just play it by ear and go by there. We'll play it by ear. Sorry. So we'll wrap this up with a sincere thank you for everybody who has again stopped by, liked a post, shared a post, sent somebody a link in an email. Hey, check this out. It absolutely would not have got to the point that it has been without that, because, you know, you build a brand new website. Nobody knows where your website is. Nobody knows where it's at. Nobody knows how to get there. So I check the views and I look at that stuff, and I know that's coming from you guys. So I appreciate it. It's not the end. We'll just reinvent ourselves in whatever way possible. So I'll leave you guys with that. If you missed the live stream of this will be in the State of the Channel updates. Or if you're just coming in late, it'll be there as well after that. So thank you very much. Stick with this while you can. We'll figure it out, and we'll go from there. All right. Take care, everybody.